J. Jonah Jameson is an integral part of the Spider-Man mythos, although his Marvel Cinematic Universe iteration, first appearing in a Spider-Man Far From Home credit scene, seems to have done away with one of the most important parts of the character. Although the working title of Spider-Man 4 has been reportedly revealed, it's unclear where the next installment of the series will go, and who might be included. There is hope for more of J. Jonah Jameson's character in the film, but how that could be realized is complex when reflecting on his MCU past. John Jonah Jameson Jr. debuted in the first issue of The Amazing Spider-Man, and has been important to the hero's canon ever since, even if Jameson's hate of Spider-Man has changed with time. Still, J.K. Simmons has become iconic in the role since 2002, and was brought into the MCU as the Spider-Man character. Even if Spider-Man No Way Home's Jameson ignores his best trait, the character is an asset to the universe. However, it is worth looking into how his new characterization does away with an important part of the previous Jameson's ideals. What happened when J. Jonah Jameson discovered Peter Parker was Spider-Man in the comics? Jameson has discovered Peter's identity several times in Marvel Comics. Jameson was linked to Spider-Man's identity being revealed in the MCU, although the way this was done was not in line with the several comic book stories where it occurred. The most notable instance of this in the comics was during Civil War, where Peter was unmasked to Jameson, who took it as a personal affront. Shocked that he had been funding Spider-Man through his own payroll for years, Jameson planned to sue Peter Parker for fraud. Eventually, this did not occur, but did provide some tension to the Peter and Jonah relationship. During the 2017 run of The Spectacular Spider-Man, another story entitled My Dinner with Jonah also addressed the unmasking of Spider-Man. The dramatic story took a turn when, during an emotional moment, Peter revealed his identity to Jonah, who was lamenting the loss of his family. In this, Peter hoped to show Jonah that he was not alone, which strengthened the bond between the two. The book was followed by Jonah allying himself with Spider-Man in a way that gave incredible and unique depth to the character. Raimi's Jameson protected Peter Parker's identity in 2002. Sam Raimi's first Marvel film saw JJJ lying to save Spider-Man. One of the most impactful character moments for Jameson comes in 2002 Spider-Man, when the editor is accosted by Spider-Man's first villain, Green Goblin, in his office. As Norman Osborn demands to know who the photographer who takes pictures of Spider-Man is, Jonah lies in response, "I don't know who he is. His stuff comes in the mail." Despite the fact that Jameson is in mortal danger, he lies to protect his employee, and thereby the identity of Spider-Man himself. It is unlikely, although not impossible, that Jonah knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. What is more likely here is that Jameson wished to protect his employee, who he cared about more than it seemed. While much of Jameson's story shows him as an over-the-top, comical figure with high blood pressure, this simple scene and quote give him an incredible amount of depth. Though Jameson may be hell-bent on destroying Spider-Man, he does have a great deal of respect and care for the people in his charge and proves here that he would sacrifice himself for them. The MCU's JJJ betrays his relationship with Peter Parker. Jameson is little more than a villain in the MCU. While Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man legacy lives on in comics, Jameson has been brought into the MCU as an over-the-top, cartoonish figure hell-bent on destroying Spider-Man and the man behind the mask, Peter Parker. This, however, was done without Peter ever working for the Daily Bugle. Because the two men do not share a history, the importance of their dynamic and connection is entirely done away with in the MCU. This robs Jameson of much of his Marvel importance. With all the No Way Home mysteries to solve, it is understandable that little of the film's attention was put on Jameson himself. However, the character does have a rich comic book legacy, and abandoning that to turn the figure into little more than a minor villain is a bit of a disservice. With Peter's identity forgotten by the entire world by the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, there is still hope that the character could wind up building a relationship with Jameson in some way later in the MCU franchise. Jameson in the MCU is more or less a villain, but the character is intended as so much more than that. An integral part of Peter and Spider-Man's lore, the character has played many roles throughout the run of the comics, and it is unfortunate that he was used in such a small and negative way in the MCU films. With a look back at Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, it seems that the Marvel Cinematic Universe could have done much better with the iconic character. Hopefully more of Jameson lies ahead on Spider-Man's journey.